Reverend Reg Miller, who is Padre of Branch Number 4 and Service Officer. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me at the back there? Can you understand me? Because I have a Chinese accent. So they tell me. Students, teachers, comrades of the Legion, I better take my watch off because I'm a Welshman and all Welshmen are vaccinated with gramophone needles. The main thing about this time of the year, although for us in the Royal Canadian Legion it takes place every time we meet, but for the general public it's a time of remembering sacrifice. The word sacrifice is not a common word, and yet that's exactly what we're thinking about. War is rotten. We have been accused in the Legion, where we parade a lot and we wear our medals a lot, we have been accused of glorifying war. Let me assure you that the opposite is true. No one at all hates and loathes war like those who have been in it. When you wipe the blood from your eyes and pull your comrades' blood away from the guns so they could keep firing, there's nothing about that that's glorious or even attractive in any way at all. We wear our medals to remember our comrades in honor of those who never had a chance to wear their medals. And I think it's good to remember that most of them were very little older than you. Sometimes people look at us, old fogies, grey beards. At least some of us have grey beards, the others shaved this morning. But some of us look at us and they forget that these men that we remember, they were young men and young women. They gave everything they had. They never dug in their pocket for a dollar. I gave the odd weekend or hour or so to a community effort. They gave everything. They would love to have been here. We never worry about growing old, you know. Our grandchildren twit us about going bald and false teeth and all this kind of thing. But we don't worry because we had the chance. Those of us who were there and came back had the chance to grow old. They didn't. I may recall an incident that demonstrates what I'm talking about the rottenness of war. The Battle of Cape Matapan, if you knew anything about medals, you would know that my second one here is the Atlantic Star. You can always tell a Navy man by that medal. All the others have great medals, don't misunderstand me, but they're all jealous of that one. You know, they'd all like to be in the Navy, but they weren't. I won't say any more about that. But at the Battle of Cape Matapan, we fought a battle with the Italian cruiser squadron at night. We sank all 4 of them, 4 battle cruisers. They never had a chance because, I don't know why, the searchlights went on just before we opened fire just to make sure it wasn't our own ships. And there they were with all their guns, what we would call fore and aft, that's straight forward and straight behind, not prepared at all, so that by the time at least the one opposite my ship had swung her guns or begun to swing her guns, she was a blazing halt. But what I wanted to say was that our Admiral sent a message to the Italian people, the headquarters there, telling them that if they like to send out a hospital ship to pick up survivors, because it must have been quite a lot, we would not interfere with it. We would allow them to come and pick up survivors. Whether they didn't believe us or whether they didn't, I don't know. But about a week later, we were steaming over that same area of the Mediterranean, and suddenly we came to a place where the sea was littered with bodies, upright in their life jackets. Most of them had died, obviously, of exposure or some of wounds, no doubt. And as we were steaming through, we looked over the side, and you would have expected, I think, that somebody would have said, "Great, look what we've done." I felt sick to my stomach. As I looked around at the men around me, I saw them feeling exactly the same way. And one fella summed it up very well. I can't tell you what he said because he spoke in naval language, which is not allowed in a high school. At least I don't think it ought to be. But roughly what he said was, just look at that, will you? They've got brothers and fathers and mothers and perhaps children just like we have. What the hell are we doing? And that just about sums it up. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid, it's rotten, it's filthy. And never forget that. This is why we in the Royal Canadian Legion pray and work that it will never happen again. But the amazing thing is that out of that rottenness, out of that filth, like beacon lights arising in the dark, there rose those who were heroic. Don't misunderstand me. They were not knights in shining armor riding on white horses. They were men. Just ordinary men, most of them, 95% of them, were ordinary guys. But when the time came for them to show their inner courage, they showed it without hesitation. Cowardice was almost unknown. I know in my own ship, 1,400 men aboard that ship. In 2.5 years of constant fighting, we had over 2,000 direct attacks on our ship in 2.5 years. We had 4 days ashore in that 2.5 years. We had one case of cowardice, one man who broke under pressure. That was at the Battle of Crete, when we'd been under fire, under bombing and torpedoing for 8 hours solid without a break. We missed him, and we eventually found him hiding under the lockers. But even for him there was some excuse, because his wife and 4 children, he just received news before we'd sailed from Egypt, his wife and 4 children had been killed in the London bombing rig. So you see, they were, even in the rottenness, they were men and women who rose to incredible heights. This little poem appeared in one of the magazines recently. When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow, we gave our today. That's pride in our past. But we also have faith in our future. Not so much ours. We reach in a place where we know that every year is a bonus year. Every year we live longer, we're thankful to God. We wake up every morning, put our teeth in, put our glasses on, and we're thankful we're still alive. But you are not. You are as Russ said, you are the future of this great land of Canada. I'm not a Canadian by birth, as you may have guessed, but I am a Canadian by choice. And it has a great future, but it's dependent upon you. If you can put on a poppy on today, and then tomorrow and every other day, forget the people you remember, forget the sacrifice they made, so that you can sit here this morning without soldiers with guns at the door. If you can forget that, then that's just too bad. If you can trample underfoot the sacrifice they made and forget it, then this country is in trouble. But I don't believe you do. I don't think that every morning you remember specifically, but I would hope that in your inner being you remember that you are able to enjoy the freedom and the privileges of this great country of Canada because they paid the price they paid, that your liberty, not the right to do what you want to do, but the right to do what you ought to do, has been bought at a very costly price. Someone wrote these words: I saw beside a dusty road somewhere in Normandy a hasty cemetery. The only information on the rough-hewed cross was shown as July the 12th, 44, Canadian, unknown. They are not unknown. Not they who lie somewhere in Normandy. Their exploits and their courage live on in history. They died for what they knew was right, that others might be free. But all they ask that we keep high the torch of liberty. It's in your hand. Your freedom was bought with a price that no wealth on earth could equal. The lives of men and women. It's yours to keep it high. You all know John McCrae's great immortal words, and he ends them with, to you from failing hands we throw the torch. Yours to keep it high. You break faith. With we who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. Thank you.